What's up, everybody? It's Amon-Rellik the God Slayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. Today is gonna be a. I'm not gonna try to make this discussion too long. I wrote some notes down to try and keep my thoughts a little coherent here. But uh, I want to talk about the recent discussion that's been going on about Dark Knight. Um, I mained this class in Final Fantasy XI. I actually had the rough but fortunate experience of having to level the class twice back then. I leveled it to 75, which was the max at the time, twice. Um, and I have mained and played Dark Knight through all the content that I've gotten to now. I'm level 78 at the moment. I'll get out of this little picture mode so you can see that. I'm level 78 at the moment. I am. I'm not sure exactly where I am right now in Shadowbringers. I've been trying to do some catching up so I can end up playing with some friends of mine. But I've seen the discussion around Dark Knight, and I will admit, I have seen a growing throughout my fights and doing the dungeons and things of that nature. I've come to see and feel the difference in how Dark Knight's effectiveness has been slowly waning, and I hear it's only gotten worse. Once you hit the Endwalker content. A lot of the Dark Knight mains are highly discontent, and just the tank community in general is seeing how the Dark Knight is being highly overlooked, and it has been while it has been barely changed in any significant and true way for its quality of life. The other three tanks that it shares this role with has been given, some in some cases just outright bonkerly beautiful, upgrades and qualities of life and things of that nature. I want to address what I believe now, and just my experiences from Dark Knight in 11 to the experiences I've had now. I just want to go over one briefly how what I believe is the Dark Knight's core problem. Okay, first we'll start with the identity of the class. Dark Knight's identity was always power and sacrifice. That was the idea of Dark Knight. And it fit that role perfectly in 11, where it was a glass cannon DPS. That's what it was. In 11, you weren't a tank. You were purely DPS, and you weren't just any kind of DPS. You were a very special type of DPS. You were the only DPS in the game that literally the crazy amount of damage you did was literally tied to your health pool. So, let's take, for instance, a move that we all know and love, Soul Eater. Right? This move in Final Fantasy XI was not a weapon skill. It didn't actually hit the opponent. When you hit Soul Eater, when you chose to hit that button, it gave you a buff. And what this buff did is it vastly increased your damage potential for the next move that was done after it. But for that next move, you would lose health proportionate to the damage you did. So, of course, what would happen? Dark Knight's most powerful weapon, because back then the weapon skills were actually special. They weren't just, just a part of a string. Back then, your weapon skills were actually the most powerful moves you had, period. And the weapon skill, guillotine, however you want to pronounce it, was like a 4-swipe scythe move. That's another thing. Dark Knight was originally a scythe wielder. At least in 11 it was. in its original MMO form. Uh, Doing this move, you would pop Soul Eater, kind of like how you used to do old Dark Knight, where you would pop Dark Arts, then Soul Eater. You would pop Soul Eater, then Guillotine. And this allowed you to spike damage so high that I believe at the time, if I'm not mistaken, Dark Knight was the single highest damage potential that was possible in the game from a player. In the sense that the burst DPS from Dark Knight back then was insane, especially depending on how you played your class, how you value different stats in your class, and then the subclass you picked also added to that strength, which is why back then you couldn't go dark whatever you wanted. It was either you go dark warrior, dark samurai, you had to go a dark strength melee class that gave you things like nature. I did dark nin because I wanted to try to give the healer, because back then aggro, or should I say enmity, right, or hate as you would call it in the game, was damage based. So the person who was accumulating the most damage on the actual mob, the enemy would lose hate for the person that it was already on, and it would choose the person who was hitting them the hardest. So in order for Dark Knights to be able to survive after doing a Soul Eater Guillotine that was hitting for 9,000 and 10,000 damage, when we didn't have nothing but maybe maybe 6,000 or 7 to our name, we would literally drop from 6,000-7,000 health to like 1,000 health. We would literally lose 90. I'd say about like 85, maybe 80, maybe anywhere between 80. I would say anywhere between 75 to close to 90% of our health, depending on how we were subclass traded in a single move. But it was the one move that you gotta think nobody else moved the health bar the way we did. But it was sacrifice that gave us the power to do so. We were glass cannons that played like any other. No other class mimicked us in any way. Even though we were DPS alongside other classes, we had our own distinct style, and we became legendary for the damage we could output. Now, Dark Knight now. I will admit, when I first got into this game and I saw that Dark Knight was going to be a tank role, I had my suspicions and I had my doubts. Because one, the core problem is that they're trying to stick to the power and sacrifice idea, which I wish they did, because that is what is supposed to be befitting of a Dark Knight. But they're doing it in a role that does not allow for that. Tanking requires good mitigation, sustainability, and the ability to contribute, a decent amount of damage, because you're going to probably be the one closest to the mob the longest and for the most amount of time, or whatever enemy that's being fought in like a dungeon or anything like that. But like, instead what they did was they took a class that revolved around that and tried to give it the role of a tank that requires so much, yet you can't afford to have that. You can't afford to have that kind of a sacrifice if you want your tank to be, yeah, it's viable. It can get through the content. Cool. But it doesn't feel good. You see, all your other three classes feel way better because they're not relying on this whole idea of give and take. That's what Dark Knight was about. You want damage, you have to give something up. These other classes don't have to give nothing up for what they're able to do as just simple tanks, let alone the damage they can output. Because even though, yeah, Dark Knight is considered the highest damaging tank, it is almost negligible how high they are in terms of their other counterparts. It's almost negligible the damage they do in terms of being the best. So I consider that a mute argument in that sense. Especially since, at the end of the day, what I'm going for here is that it lost its identity. It lost its identity. They tried to keep the concept, but changed the role. And the concept and the role don't mix. They don't mix at all. So what happens? We get a class that I literally said in my head when I saw it, this is what Dark Knight should have been. They brought out Reaper. Now what you have done is you have literally, one, taken Dark Knight's special identity of being the dark class, and now we're no longer that anymore. We're the original dark class, but we're not just the dark class anymore. We don't have that singular speciality anymore. Now, if you want to play a dark class, you can choose between Dark Knight and Reaper. And right now, you're going to see a lot of Dark Knight mains go to playing Reaper. You know, and again, this is where I say Dark Knight in and of itself, it was robbed of its identity. Reaper is what Dark Knight should have been from the very beginning. That's what Dark Knight should have been. Why do we have a greatsword? When our original MMO creation, we wielded scythes. We didn't wield greatswords. You know, why are we tanks? When our original MMO iteration, Dark Knights and their whole persona was about, you know, we take the dark path for justice. We deliver dark justice. While you paladins and you holy people pray for your enemies, we kill ours. You know, while you save the people by trying to be heroes, we protect the people by destroying our enemies and destroying the enemies of the weak and the innocent without mercy. We take the darker path to the same goal of justice. But in order to do so, we have to make sacrifices and go into darker places. One of the core phrases I've heard describe Dark Knights, probably more than anything, is Dark Knights willfully become demons to protect angels, to protect heaven. We fall to hell to protect heaven. You know, because we believe that, you know, or I should say the Dark Knight idealism is for the power to destroy our enemies, to protect the weak, we'll go there for that. That was the idea of Dark Knights. We are supposed to be the shunned, the shunned of the protectors, right? The shunned, the anti-hero. We're like the, you know, that's why they call us Batman and shit like that. That's the Batman class or whatever. You know, we're supposed to do what others cannot, you know, or others don't have the balls or the guts to do. You know, we'll play the hero that must be the villain in order to be the hero. You see what I'm saying? Like, that was our thing. So yeah, suffering, sacrifice. These are the things that are supposed to be a part of a Dark Knight. We're supposed to have a give and take in our fighting and in our abilities. But that's where the tank role doesn't fit anymore. It doesn't fit anymore because look at, for instance, the arguments are everywhere. Everybody's got their numbers. There's a lot of Dark Knights out there who are better than me at this, who have been playing the Dark Knight as a tank way longer than me. They can give you, there's videos out there where you can see the numbers being crunched. I'm just looking at it from the overall feeling that I get when I see Gunbreaker, Paladin, and Warrior. I've already watched a Warrior solo a raid boss. Not the raid boss, but like the first boss of a raid, Pandemonium. I saw the video. It's got a couple thousand views. Like I'm pretty sure some people seen it. And the fact that a Warrior could do that, and no other class could probably do it, but I know the one that will probably be the one. I know the one class that could definitely not do it is a Dark Knight. Definitely not. Definitely not. And one of the biggest reasons, we have no way to heal ourselves. And you can't call this, you can't call the Soul Eater heal a fucking heal. That's not a heal. That's not a heal. It might be a heal in the literal sense that health does come back to your health pool, but it's not a heal that's worthy of any respect in any form of fashion. Neither is Abyssal Drain. No, it's not a heal. Unless you're fighting a pack of mobs, this doesn't matter. Abyssal Drain doesn't matter. Okay. I don't get where they thought that okay, we're gonna lift these three tanks and make their abilities not only super strong to the point to where, yo, like, you got tanks that are able to solo raid bosses. Yeah, it took the dude like an hour and a half, 2 hours to solo one boss, but it was possible. It was actually possible, you know. And one of the things I saw from that warrior was like, it's possible because of the amount of healing he's capable of doing on his own. And then again, with our oh shit buttons, everybody's oh shit buttons gets better. Ours stay horrible. Living Dead, I don't even have it yet, and I'm not even looking forward to getting it. I'm looking forward to Living Shadow more than I am that move, because I've seen the tooltip for that move. And like, again, just in case you haven't seen the tooltip for the move, that's another thing I love about the game. They let you see all the shit you're gonna get just about until up 90. But like, if we look at Living Dead, where is that shit at? Here it is. Oh yeah, actually, no, I'm sorry. I actually do have it. I don't have it on my hard bar because this move is horrendous. All right. So some people say that it's a 20-second invulnerability state. It's not. It's actually just 10, because the Living Dead part, right? When I pop it, I get 10 seconds of Living Dead. What that means is within those 10 seconds, right? If within those 10 seconds I take damage to the point to where I'm about to die, instead of just outright dying, I go into Walking Dead state. And that is the invulnerable state. From the moment Walking Dead starts at 10, that's my invulnerability state. Living Dead is the buffer in between me dying and becoming Walking Dead. That's how long I have before the ability itself just quits if I don't take that. Because like, if the mob can't kill me within the 10 seconds of Living Dead, it just goes away. That's it. But if the mob actually kills me, or succeeds in taking my health all the way down to 0 or 1, or more than that, and if it would have killed me during the Living Dead duration, I would go into Walking Dead state for 10 seconds. Now, in that 10 seconds, whatever my max HP is, like right now is 30,841, the healer, not myself, like the other three can do, they can heal themselves. I have to rely on a healer, a white mage preferably, to heal me for 30,841. Now, it doesn't have to heal me to a full bar. No, he just has to heal me for 30,841 somewhere within that 10 seconds. Even if I'm not at full health, it doesn't matter. As long as I am healed that much, as long as I'm healed for that much within those 10 seconds, we're good. But if I am not, I die. So my invulnerable skill is a give and take, which is fine, but it shouldn't be a give and take for a tank. That doesn't belong on a tank. You know, that should be a move that is instead of it being called Living Dead, and that move is something that is just, you know, mitigation. You know, for a tank, that should be on Reaper. And from what I can tell, Living Dead, or should I say the Reaper, has something very similar to Living Dead, but way better than it. You know, it's like, I don't know, like, it's already bad enough that our moves look lackluster. I know what they did. They might have tried to sneak it in there, but this move, Siphon Strike, doesn't sound as good as it used to. The sound for this move has been dampened, because this move used to sound loud. Like, it used to be, this one used to be kind of, it was, you know, doom. This one, ooh, bow. I would hear that bow. And then on this one, bow. You would hear the punch of each of these moves. This move does not have that punch anymore. They downgraded the sound of this move. This move still sounds relatively the same. Delirium its change was nice, you know. Its change was nice. Now I just get 3 stacks of it. So now I can actually pop this move, and I get 15 seconds to do 3 deliriums for free. So I can literally pop this at the beginning of a rotation, you know, get some of this rotation out, and then near the end of my long as hell rotation, you know, I can then start popping my blood spillers for free. You know, where's it at? This way I can start popping my blood spillers for free. You know, which until I get to 80 or 90, I believe, is going to be my highest potency move. You know, because I think I don't get my next highest potency move until Shadowbringer. Yeah, for 500. You know, mind you, what's it called again? Blood Spiller. Where is Blood Spiller? I didn't get Blood Spiller until 62. So every other move I had, like, and this move, which does hit hard, this is a powered up version, you know, that I got from not this one, that's Flood of Darkness. Wait, that's Flood of Darkness, not that one. It's not, where's it at? That's Edge of Darkness, right? I got that one, but this move didn't get really powerful until it turned into this. That's when I realized it started hitting a lot harder. Okay, cool, whatever. It's the exact same move, just powered up for, you know, scaled up for your level. Cool, whatever. But in terms of like a single move that's meant to be your burst, your true burst hit, Blood Spiller, 500. I don't get another one until Shadowbringer at max 90. You know, and of course, I got Stalwart Soul and all this good stuff. I won't get Living Shadow until 80. And a lot of people are like, well, Living Shadow sucks ass anyway. And to be true, it sucks ass. I know that a part of the rotation is supposed to be done alongside Salted Earth. Where shit at? There it is. Salted Earth. It's supposed to be done alongside that. You know, because that's literally all this is a glorified dot. It looks cool as hell. It looks cool as hell because I release my dark side, and my dark side comes out as a shadow version of me, and it fights alongside me, you know. Okay, cool. That's nice. That's cool. It looks cool. Whatever. But it's nothing more than a glorified dot. Cool. If you want to make Living Shadow worth something at the end of the day, first of all, look at the recast time on that shit. Again, it lasts for 24 seconds, but it really doesn't last for 24 seconds. I've seen this move cast before online. I've watched videos for it. I'm already not even excited for this move because I've seen what it does. The animation for your shadow self to come out is like 7 or 8 seconds long, but the duration for 24 seconds starts the moment you hit it. So 7 seconds of that duration, you might as well cut that off. And the real length of Living Shadow in which you can actually use it is 7 seconds shorter of this 24. It costs half of this blood gauge to do. Then on top of that, I have to wait another 120 seconds to do it. Its attack potency is only, 240. And I won't get another I won't get another trait to boost that until 88, I think. Yeah, until 88. Which will boost it to 300. When the original boost is what? 240. So I only got a 60 level boost from getting it to 80, from 80, and then to 88 when I get it, from 80, and then to 88, I believe, yeah, when I get the enhanced Living Shadow. And then the second one doesn't even boost its enhanced Living Shadow 2, doesn't even boost its potency anymore. It just allows, instead of it doing Flood of Shadow now, it does my Shadowbringer move. That 90 move right here. It does that. So, like, we cannot heal ourselves. Yet you attach a move to us that is similar to what Soul Eater Guillotine did back in Final Fantasy XI, but at least there, it made sense. The White Mage didn't mind it because it literally was the most powerful combo move you could damn near do in the game. If you wanted to see a chunk of that health bar gone, you had to be willing to deal with healing a Dark Knight, through first one, the aggro, first his initial health loss, and then healing him through the aggro until the Paladin or whoever else was the tank, because back then Paladins were mainly tanks, to pull that hate back off of him. But it was worth it because you were doing like 10,000 health. And back then, when you got EXP, you didn't get it from dungeons and doing all this other illustrious content where you could just get it all on your own. No, you had to form parties and go outside and fight singular monsters that were capable of killing you by themselves. Like you were like right now, how I could go outside and fight any monster that's out there in the little wilderness. I can go out there and fight any little monster out there and be relatively fine. Relatively fine. But let me try that in 11. I'll more than likely die. Back then, in order to get farming parties together and go outside and fight regular mobs, like they were boss mobs, a whole party's ganging up on this thing, you know. And back then, that was the power that Dark Knight possessed. We were the ones that were able to take a enemy from full health to half health in a single move. In a single move. No other class could do that. You know, I don't even think even Black Mage was able to match that. You know, I think maybe in some cases there were, but I think it was rarely able to match that. So you're talking about a class who prided itself on its sacrifice for power. And it's what made us special. It's what made Dark Knight's desire for any kind of content, even with that handicap. Because the handicap was fucking worth it. It was fucking worth to heal the Dark Knight through all of that because of the amount of damage we put out. You couldn't find it anywhere else. You still want us to sacrifice and give for whatever little power you give us, but you put us in a role that is solely detrimental to that mindset. Because again, as the role of the tank, we're supposed to keep the rest of the party alive by being the meat shield. But we're not given any kind of sustainability as a meat shield. Our sustainability is literally relying on a white mage or a healer almost 100% purely from them. When the other three tanks don't have to deal with that. But we do. When we're the ones who give up our MP for all of our fucking moves. The Blackest Night, our biggest tank buster, costs 3,000 MP. That's literally taking away from Edge of Shadow, which is one of our hard-hitting moves that starts up, of course, our Dark Arts, you know, which allows us to, you know, do all this extra damage. Because again, for instance, you gotta have, you know, for one, you gotta do these combos, and then in certain instances, this has got to be activated for some of these special things to be happening in some of these moves. So you got to have Dark Arts always activated. So this has always got to be on, you know. And just to give you a certain a small hint of what I mean, we'll run out here real quick. Like I said, this is going to probably be like a 30-minute video. I'm not going to sit here and bitch about it all day long. If they want to fix Dark Knight, they already know what they need to do. They've already known what they needed to do. You know, it's going to be up to them to want to fix it, though. But I'm going to use the enemy out here as a suggestion. Or as an example. Okay. First and foremost, let's say, for instance, this is what makes this move, Blackest Night, our biggest, and what was used to be considered the best tank buster in the game, right? At that point, Dark Knights were running. We were running shit because they had not tweaked the other three classes yet. But then when they tweaked the other three classes, they tweaked them such a high degree, and yet we didn't receive anything to match them at all. All right, she just took that enemy, so good, cool. All right, now my initial engagement would be to leap in here and immediately hit my Edge of Shadow so that I get my Dark Arts. So let's say, for instance, I go in there. Oh shoot, nope. There you go. Now I got my Dark Arts. Now I can pull out my regular combo. Yeah. You know, and then in between all of that, okay, he's doing that. I can move. That's cool. I can move. You know, I might pop another one of these. You know. All right, cool. Yeah. It's all good and fine, right? It's all good and fine. Then I can pop a blood. Oh, but he about to pop that move. So I go ahead and pop Darkest Night. Now it's gone. It's gone. I'm gonna take that hit. Now, here's the problem with that. I just basically wasted 3,000 MP. I wasted that. I wasted it. Why? Because if he had broke the shield, because if you see it where it says, you know, grants dark side, increases damage dealt by 10%, right? So I want this up to be up at all times because I get a 10% damage increase, right? Cool. Now, it extends dark side duration for 30 seconds for a maximum of 60. So I can do this move basically twice without it being a complete waste. But here's the thing. This move, right? Blackest Night. That shield I popped to negate that damage. It lasts for 7 seconds. It grants my dark arts, which is this. This is dark arts. Dark side is when this glows. Dark arts is when this little thing glows. This will glow gold. It'll be gold. Now, when it glows gold like that, consume dark arts, which is this thing, this golden thing, instead of MP to execute this move right here, Edge of Shadows. So I get a free one of these, but only when they break this. That's my tank buster. The only thing this tank buster is good for, other than the idea of, okay, the barrier will absorb 25% of my maximum HP. So whatever 20% of this is what this thing will tank bust for. So that means it has to tank bust more than that and break it for me to get a free damage deal with my Edge of Shadow. If not, I just wasted 3,000 MP, which again, in a fight, like for instance, look at if you see my CD, it's down to 230. Most of the people, even the people I see who raid and stuff right now, and the people who know Dark Knight, or at least in this iteration better than me, they GCDs or their CD is like higher than this. You know, like they talk about numbers like 230, like 2.38 and 2.4 something. I got my shit down to 2.3. You know, I stacked nothing but crit and skill speed simply because I need this right here, blood weapon, which they did not change the way they did this. They changed Delirium to just give you 3 stacks, period. Didn't change blood weapon in any way. I still have to get 10 seconds. I have to try and fit in as many weapon skills to get my MP back from the loss of these. So let's say if I was to do this in a less than optimal sense, right? That means I'm just gonna do this right. I'm just gonna come over here. I'm just gonna come over here. Right? I'm gonna do that. And I'm not gonna do any weapon skills just to make this fight last long. Right? And he does that. Oh, I gotta pop this. I don't wanna get hit with that. Okay, yeah, cool, right? Cool. Yeah, it's awesome. You know, I'm gonna pop one of these again. Now I'm down to 2,600, right? Yeah, okay. Oh God, I gotta pop this again. Oh no, I popped it just in time. Ugh. Okay, I got some of it. I might, yeah. All right, cool. I negated that. Oh, ain't gonna be able to negate this though. Let me move. Oh man, I still got hit, but I didn't move fast enough. Okay, but I need that MP back, so I gotta pop blood weapon. Now I gotta start moving. 1, 2. I can't afford to move. I gotta keep going. 3, 4, 5, 6. And some of those aren't even gonna matter because it only works on stop it. It only works on weapon skills or spells. This worked, that worked, that worked. You probably saw it. This worked. That's an ability. Doesn't work. This is an ability. Doesn't work. So literally, I would have to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm gonna let that come back real quick, and we're gonna do that same scenario, and I'm gonna show you why I have my cooldown this low on this dude. Now, I could use it on Unleash, but those are AoEs. You know, I'm gonna show you what I mean. It's back up, cool. All right, I'm gonna waste some MP again, just retardedly. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna waste that. Waste that. Oh, I'm wasting it. Oh man, I'm not even trying to. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I gotta stop this. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm gonna do this again. Waste some more MP. No. Okay, you ready? Here we go. I'm gonna get all this MP back. 1. I'm gonna take this move. I don't care. 2, 3. All right. Go ahead. All right. So I was able to get one more of these off. So I was able to do 1, 2, 3. Blood spiller. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was able to fit 5 in. And I was able to fit them in rather comfortably. If I wanted to just fit them in spot-wise, like, and not have to worry about doing it with blood spiller, let's say I just wanted to do that without blood spiller. I know this is getting a little longer, but I want to show you what I mean by why would you fix one thing, but then the fundamental problem that basically plagued both moves, you only fixed one, you didn't fix the other. But again, our MP is literally tied to our damage ability. It's literally tied to a lot of our to some of our damage. All right, let's go. Wasting MP, wasting it. I don't give a shit. I'm wasting it. This will be the last little trial here. I'm wasting it. Oh no! Blackest Night, save me! Save me! Matter of fact, I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna do this again. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna get all this MP back. All right. And I just waste that right now because right now I won't have to worry about weaving it. Right now I don't have to worry about weaving it. But I would normally weave those two, but I just said fuck it, I'll just go ahead and burst it out. Now, if you notice, I was able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, that's the reason why I push my shit down to 230. It's so that I can guarantee 5. And the only reason why I'm guaranteeing 5 is because I need enough. In that cooldown, I need enough to at least be able to pop this again. Because this has a 15-second cooldown. So I could pop this once, and by the time I even feel the effects of it being gone, I could probably pop it again. But the idea is I need the MP to pop it again, and I need to make sure that I don't overdo it with this. So I need this to actually blow up so I don't have to spend another 3,000 and I can get it for free. And keep this up because this is what keeps my damage going. Because I need my damage output to be up at all times. Again, in this game where DPS is king, even as a healer, you're expected to do damage in this game. Unlike in 11, healers were only expected to heal. They weren't expected to do damage. In this game, healers are given the ability to do damage. But, you know, and so because of that, everybody is expected to do damage, no matter what your role is. But the core fundamentals of what makes a Dark Knight what it is, the role that it's playing in this game breaks those. Or it's vice versa. Either the core of what a Dark Knight is breaking Dark Knight as a tank, or Dark Knight being a tank is breaking the way Dark Knight is supposed to feel and play. Some people say, you know, well, this, you know, I love the class. It's not my best. It's my favorite class. This is my favorite class of Final Fantasy. Period. Period. Even with Reaper coming out, Reaper was going to be my secondary because I don't play healers. So it was going to be, I have a tank main, I have a DPS main. So when Reaper showed up, I was like, oh yeah, another dark class. You know I got to be on it. You know I got to be on it. But then when I saw it in the way it looked and played, I'm like, this is Dark Knight. This is Dark Knight. This is what Dark Knight was supposed to be. First and foremost, why are you going to give a dark themed character like Dark Knight, then turn around and try to make another one themed around death when that's what Dark Knight is about? Dark Knight is themed around that. He's a Death Knight. That's basically what he's supposed to be. He's a Death Knight. You know, he's a knight who uses darkness and destruction. You know, so why are you gonna have another character literally try and take that role from him, like, or her? You know, either way, from the class itself as Dark Knight. Reaper should not exist if there's a Dark Knight in my eyes. And Dark Knight shouldn't exist then if Reaper's here. Pick one. Pick one. Because now you got two classes who are both perpetrating the same identities. They're perpetrating the same identities, but one class is doing it proper and the other one is doing it like a mere shell of itself. And the one who's doing it like a mere shell of itself still bears the name of the legend that this Reaper class is now going to bolster from. Because most of your Reaper mains, I swear, most of your Reaper mains are going to more likely come from the Dark Knight community. Because they want to be this. They want to be a Dark Knight. They want to have the title in a character thing that says they're playing a Dark Knight. But when they see Reaper and they're like, that's what a Dark Knight's supposed to feel like. Powerful, but at the same time sacrificing something for that power. As a Dark Knight tank, you don't feel powerful. You know, oh yeah, you got some things that can truly negate some damage. All the classes do. But you don't feel powerful because you can't sustain yourself in any true self, you know, in any true stressful situation that requires like an effort on your part to stay alive outside of just, well, let me pop these shields and hopefully if I pop them in the right times, the healer can help me because I can't help myself other than that. While the other three tanks can say, let me pop these shields and let me go ahead and put some health on me real quick while he can't hurt me. Again, fulfilling the role of a meat shield, being exceptionally hard to kill. And yeah, a Dark Knight can be exceptionally hard to kill when they want to be. True. But we have to, but in order for us to play that role, it is required so much. So much is required of us. You know, again, I didn't even talk about where Delirium plays a role here. Where in that whole thing, now that Delirium is 15 seconds and then you just get 3 stacks of it, period. And you don't have to worry about trying to get as many in that 15-second duration. Okay, cool. So now I got extra buttons to press. Because now there's no reason why I wouldn't pop this at the beginning of my entire combo. Pop this out, pop this out, pop this out, or pop this, you know. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to pop Edge of Shadow, then I'm going to pop this. I might, you know, pop this real quick, pop one of these, and then start Delirium. And by that time, Delirium's probably going to be down to like maybe 5, you know, maybe 8 seconds, and I'll have just enough time to pop my 3. You know, or because of how long it lasts, I could pop this, pop a Delirium, pop a Blood Spiller real quick, because I got Delirium, got a free Blood Spiller. Pop one of these, pop another one of these, because I got a free one. Pop one of these, pop another of these, because I got a free one. You see what I'm saying? And then it'll go away, and then Delirium goes away. Cool, you know. So now I have even more buttons to press if I want to be optimal in the way my my openers or my attack burst chain is. Because now my attack burst chain is damn near almost 25 buttons. You know, if I'm going by the proper, quote-unquote, proper way to play Dark Knight. I don't believe, I mean, it might be the actual, you know, mathematically optimal way to play, but all that does is take the fun out of playing a class to me. When you start taking away the aesthetics, and when you take away all the aesthetics and soul of a class, and you just bring that class down to nothing but numbers, it takes the fun out of it. Now it's like I'm seeing things in the Matrix, where nothing looks real. Now it's all just numbers going up and down the screen. I don't like that. You know, I mean, I get it, and I understand the power is there, but at the same time, all you've done is you've made my class far more complicated to play, and I don't even get the reward back that the other classes do, and they don't have to do anything near as much, you know, for the same reward back as a tank. That's what I'm saying, as a tank. Dark Knight feels horrible to play as a tank because I have to try twice as hard to do what those other 3 classes do not have to do. You know, they don't have to go nearly as hard to do that. You know, and it's way more forgiving for them when they have to go there and they have to pop those hard moves that could, you know, that could, again, I can't even say that could get their party messed up, because Living Dead is the only oh shit button of the four tanks that actually does put stress on the party of some kind. So I don't know, man. Like, as a person who has gone from playing Final Fantasy 13, well, Final Fantasy 11, back when I was, I think I was 17, 18 when I started playing that game. And I played it for years, man. I played it for like almost 10 years. And for that whole time, I played Dark Knight. From the moment I got it to the last day I played it. I know what Dark Knight used to be. I know what Dark Knight's aesthetic is supposed to be. Because again, this game prides itself on building its classes based on the aesthetic it's supposed to be around. So when you play Dark Knight, you're supposed to feel like this class. You're not supposed to just play it, you're supposed to feel like it. That's the reason why Yoshi P keep coming out on stage dressed as these motherfuckers every time he come out with a new class. Because he's supposed to feel like it. And Dark Knight, for a long time, Dark Knight ain't felt the same to me, for one. But now, it don't even feel enjoyable as a tank anymore. It used to feel that way. It used to be enjoyable as a tank. Even if I felt like the spirit of the Dark Knight was completely, abandoned just to give it a tank role. To make it more, I guess, anime with the, long sword thing when Dark Knights originally wielded scythes. But anyways, I was willing to deal with all that because the class still felt good. Now, I'm now hyper focused on it because it doesn't feel good anymore. So I'm hyper focused on how the class is supposed to feel, because it doesn't feel good anymore. And you can give me all the edgelord icons you want, and you can give me all the nice little black and red. And then some of the moves just look sad anyway. Like Abyssal Drain looks sad. Abyssal Drain could look better. I'm not gonna say it looked bad, but it could look better. Oh my god, Salted Earth is just, Salted Earth is just, oh my god. Its initial cast looks good, but after that, while it's just out, you're like, whatever, And it's like, all the black and red aesthetic of my moves, you can do all that emo shit you want all day long. As much as, people who love dark classes, doesn't mean we're all fucking emo kids at the house, thinking about suicide, man. We just like dark shit sometimes. And that's the kind of fool I am. I like dark shit, I'm into the skulls and shit like that. I like dark shit, man. And there shouldn't be a problem with that. But my class is becoming a meme now because it's like, since Dark Knight, I guess, is supposed to be the niche job, it's like, come on, man. Like, no, we're tanks. We play a very vital role. But you're allowing the other 3 tanks to play that vital role way better than us. Why? When we play the exact same role. Why? If you want us to be DPS, then rework our class and make us that, DPS. Because I ain't got no problem with hanging up the tank role, because I never wanted it in the first place. But I took it up because I wanted my class. I wanted to play as a Dark Knight. And if a lot of people who came from 11 are playing Dark Knight now as mains, they never asked to be tanks. They're playing Dark Knight because they have no choice but to be tanks if they want to play their favorite class. So if you ain't going to treat us equal to them, then fuck it. Take us off the goddamn rank, out of the damn tank roster. Take us out and make us DPS. Take us out and make us DPS. Boost all our potencies up, and and then give us moves that, fuck our health up. Take us back to the old days. Where my burst damage was the highest in the damn game. But I paid for that shit. I became a detriment to the party, but I was also the party's biggest damage dealer. So the party was willing to deal with that. Because it was considered an equal payoff. Dark Knight has not been given an equal payoff in his tanking role. And you got people who, they straddle the fence with it and say, Dark Knight's great. It's a great job. I love it. Dark Knight's cool. But I never liked it being a tank. I never liked it being a tank. But I've come to do my best to try and enjoy it as a tank. But now, even as a tank, this class is starting to feel bad. It's starting to feel bad. Because I'm watching people do my job way easier and way better on the other 3 tanks. To the point to where when I go into 8-mans, where there's 2 tanks, if there's a warrior in there, he automatically knows he's main tanking, apparently. He doesn't even try to even give me the chance to even main tank. He just takes it. He just takes it. I remember one time, we're tanking a boss, and I got grit on, right? I got grit on, and I'm noticing that the boss, it just keeps doing this number where it'll look at him, then it'll look at me, but then it'll look back at him, and it'll look at me, and I noticed that, and I'm like, then I looked at the tank, I look at the warrior, he's trying to main tank. I can tell, I'm like, oh, he's main tanking. But he immediately saw that, oh, Dark Knight and me, I got this. Simply because he knows he's better at it than his kit is better at doing the job than mine is. But we both play the same fucking role. It's Amon-Rellik the Godslayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. I won't quit this class. Because I was a Dark Knight main from the moment I began playing Final Fantasy Online before this game. I am dedicated to the class because I'm dedicated to my mains. I don't just switch them, because the developers want to treat my class like ass. I'll stick with it. I've always been the underdog type. I'll stick with it. But there's more to Dark Knight's problems than just some number crunching equations. The soul of the Dark Knight has been, the soul of the class and the aesthetic that the class is supposed to represent has been completely squandered and completely thrown to the wayside just to make it more anime looking, or just to make it more, cliche badass with a great sword looking. You could have just gave Warrior a great sword, throw away the damn battle axe, gave him a great sword instead, and have him operate the exact same way as he does now. Give us our scythe back. And why in the hell Reaper should be fused into Dark Knight, and that should be how we fight. That should be our class. That should be us. Reaper should be Dark Knight. Instead of now having another dark class steal the light that we are supposed to be holding as our class. We are supposed to be the dark class. I don't know. Like, you've already got the suspicions about people saying that, hey, they don't usually do this, but when they release Shadowbringers, they made Dark Knight the poster boy, but then they released the Gunbringer in the exact same trailer. Like, yeah, like we were supposed to be the poster boy tank, but they all released another tank right alongside us. So now we got to fight for the light that's supposed to be ours for that expansion. Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, for the expansion itself, I guess you could say we were the highlight in the sense that we had some moves that couldn't nobody top. But now, if you look at the way they balance things as of now, oh yeah, Dark Knight we might have the top in damage, but the amount of damage in which we consist at the top at is negligible. It is negligible. It maybe accounts to maybe what one point. I heard like 1.6 being a number they were throwing around. A 1.6 damage difference between the other two or the three. I think the highest being like a 1.8 to 2 something. Like really small percentages that again are almost negligible. So it's like, whatever. You can miss me with that argument. Our kit damn near defeats our purpose as tanks. We're literally fighting our own kit. You know, hell, the rest of our party is in danger because of our own kit. When our job is supposed to be keeping the party out of danger by having a kit that's supposed to be able to self-sustain to it. It doesn't have to self-sustain to the point to where it doesn't need a healer, but it should be able to self-sustain enough to where it can, where a healer does have options to deal damage, you know, as often as possible. That's another thing too. Because the other mitigations of the other classes are better, it gives the healer more chances to actually do damage. Like, so the overall damage output of everybody, it gets better if you choose something other than Dark Knight. Like, you already got people talking about how when they do extremes and stuff like that, people are like, hey man, don't bring Dark Knight, yo. Bring them others. And how can you blame them? Because mathematically, Dark Knight has been left over and asked out. And I say abandoned because we have got problems that we have had since this class came out years ago. Hey, it's been about an hour. I'm gonna start ranting. I'm gonna start ranting. I'm gonna leave it alone. But I'm just saying, yo. Look at, go look it up. I'm not finna sit here and cater to you. Do some research. Go look it up. Go look up some old Final Fantasy 11 videos, or if you can, or some old Final Fantasy 11 logs or whatever, and look at the damage that Dark Knight could output. And look at the way that class mechanically played in its first MMO iteration, and see how it fit its actual lore canon ideals. Is lore canon aesthetic. And see how Dark Knight now is literally, it's like a Dark Knight trying to masquerade around in the fucking outfit of a paladin. That's what Dark Knight feel like. It feel like a Dark Knight trying to masquerade as a tank, trying to masquerade as a paladin. Like, we were never supposed to be like them. We were never supposed to be like paladins. We were never supposed to be anything like them. That's the reason why paladins were tanks. We were DPS. Even though we were both knights. We're both knights. But I play a very, very different role than you do. Because I'm a very, very different class than you. I'm Amon-Rellik the God Slayer. I'm Amon-Rellik Gaming. I'm out of here, y'all.